You're right, you train, you care for your horse, but does your horse really see you as part of its herd? Many people want more than just training. They're looking for a real connection, a deep bond with their horse, this feeling that we truly belong together. But what does that actually mean, being part of the herd? To understand that, we first have to look at what a herd actually is, what it looks like, and how behavior within the herd differs from that between herds. So, what is a herd? Although terms are used differently, I mean by herd the smaller family group of usually 2 to 15 horses, often also called a band. In addition, there is the association of several such herds, and I call this a herd association because that best describes what it really is. Several herds that belong together but are clearly separated from each other. Why is this difference so important? Because a horse's behavior and communication shift completely depending on whether it's interacting with a member of its own herd or with one from another herd. And the maybe most important point here, within a herd, there are hardly any conflicts. And there's also no fixed ranking as many believe. Instead, there are only different roles, and the herd always works closely together. Every horse can make suggestions, but can also say no to personal contact like mutual grooming or play. And what does such togetherness actually look like? Let's take a look at this small herd as an example. 4 horses, a stallion, his mare, their foal, and another young mare. It is incredibly fascinating to observe how closely these 2 experienced horses work together. So the mare recently had her foal, and because they unfortunately lost their foal last year, the 2 of them seem to be especially careful to protect the foal this time. They keep far away from the other herds in the association, although this association otherwise usually stays very close together. That's likely why the stallion is very cautious and, as here, sets a boundary with his body when 4 other horses from another herd of the same herd association pass by in the background. He basically says, "It's okay if you pass by back there, but don't come closer than here where I stand." This protection of his herd is extremely important for the stallion. That's also why stallions often stay awake at night and also sleep much less altogether than the rest of the herd. So now during the day, it's time for him to rest. And right then, the mare takes over. Without needing to be asked, she keeps watch and ensures the safety of the herd. And he trusts her so much that he even lies down on his side, something that many of our horses find difficult. Many simply don't feel safe enough to lie flat on their side, but only then can a horse reach deep REM sleep, which is extremely important for horses. But why is this feeling of real safety missing for so many horses? There are many reasons for this. Often it's simply because they don't have a herd, or because their group is restless or poorly put together, or there are other horses that are not well socialized and don't respect the herd rules. It also often happens with horses that just had to change herds, like my mare, whom I took over when she was 22 years old, and for whom this change was very hard. She simply couldn't find rest, couldn't really sleep, and then her front legs buckled because she tried to sleep standing up, but could never really let go. But back to the small herd we talked about. The stallion is therefore full of trust, even though so many other stallions are very close by, but he absolutely trusts his mare to let him know if she senses even the slightest hint of danger. And he would then immediately be there to protect his little herd from other stallions and, if necessary, defend them physically. Why am I showing you these videos? Because they clearly show how differently horses behave within a herd. But what does this mean for your horse and your relationship? Quite simply, your horse will behave very differently towards you depending on if it really sees you as part of its herd or not. You could now ask, do our horses even have real herds? And that is a very good question, and I will answer that in one of my next videos. And then there is the biggest question. Can we as humans even become part of our horse's herd? And the answer is yes, we can. But If we only go to our horse for 1 hour a day and only ride or train it, then that's not enough to be seen as part of the herd. Then we have a relationship with our horse like I had with my PE teachers. They were maybe nice, maybe not, but did I feel they were part of my family? Not really. But how do I then become a member of the herd? For that, I have just created a completely new guide, and if you like, you can download it now. The link is in the pinned comment below. Have fun with it, and I will see you in the next video.